I am super excited for today's review because I get to expand my Rebels collection even more and take a look at Grand Admiral Thrawn. This figure is by Hot Toys and from the Ahsoka TV show, but we all remember Thrawn started in Rebels. So now let's get him out here so we can see if he's going to make a fine addition to my Rebels display. As you all know, every good unboxing must start with the box, and yes, it's a Star Wars figure, so it's a pretty basic box today, just all black, and then we do have a nice image of Thrawn up here, and this is actually the figure. Then the wraparound banner is pretty cool. You can see it's Ahsoka themed. You have a nice blue right around there, then you have another picture of the figure. He's playing on his little iPad. This is TMS 116 Grand Admiral Thrawn 6-scale collectible figure. Then rolling to the side, we have another cool image of the figure, and I'm excited to kind of see this cool little table hologram thing he comes with. It looks pretty different than their others, so yeah, curious how it's going to actually end up looking. Then going to the back, feel free to pause and read all that if you really want to. More of the wraparound banner on the side, and then on the top says Star Wars and same on the bottom. So now let's take the top off. I'm a little worried since he's in an all white outfit that he might get blown out quite a bit in the lighting of the light box, but we'll just have to see. But now we can see the slip cover, and ooh, that's a pretty cool image. Man, I might have to go back and track down some of the zombie troopers and stuff because they just look super cool. I love the red banding around them, and man, Captain Enoch is so cool. Then Thrawn himself, the menace, the genius. Yeah, he's just right there looking awesome. Man, this is some cool art. If only they could put it on the front of the box, but they can't for whatever reason. I know they actually literally can't, but at least they give you a cool slipcover in the box. But now you can actually see Thrawn, and there was also this piece for the table in there. We'll take a look at that in the accessory section, but yeah, my fear of him actually being kind of blown out because he's white on a white background with all the lights and stuff is unfortunately kind of true. I may have to decrease the exposure or something, but yeah, let's just see. Man, yeah, he is really blown out right now. It's okay for this section, but definitely when we get to the figure section, I'll probably have to decrease the exposure. But right off the bat, this figure looks so good. That tailoring is nice, man. Yeah, I'm excited to take a closer look at him, pose him up. I mean, he's not gonna do any super crazy poses, but dang, he just looks great. But now I'm gonna just lay him back in there and take everything else out of the box, and let's just take a look at it all. For the boring accessories, you get some extra wrist pegs, little eye manipulator, and some little buttons if his buttons come off, but I really hope they don't because I hate putting those back on. Then for his base, it's just a standard rectangular Star Wars one. You can see it says Grand Admiral Thrawn right there in that chrome nameplate. And the top of the base, it's just black, and it has a lot of little like chipping and stuff everywhere, so it's, you've probably seen this base before, it's pretty basic. And then they also give you a crotch grabber, which you can see it actually sticks out a little and then swoops. So it's a little different than the usual. So let's just get this peg in. And yep, very easy today. And now for Thrawn's hands. So his hands are actually pretty nicely detailed. You can see his hands are pretty blue, and you can see all like the little wrinkling in there for each finger. The nails are a nice blue color. Then I love all the different speckling in there. Like these just, yeah, these look really good. You can see the palms. Yeah, these are some pretty nice looking hands. You get a left and right kind of thinking hands. In the instructions, they show them going together like this, you know, have Thrawn kind of contemplating something. Then you get a left kind of gripping hand for the tablet and a right trigger finger for his blaster. But honestly, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have Thrawn aiming or holding the blaster in my display. Then you get a kind of closed fist style hand, but this one is kind of for a cool pose where his hands are behind his back. So we'll check that one out. Then on the figure, you sort of get relaxed style hands, but not really. This one's kind of closed-ish. It's like a weird scooping motion. And then this one's kind of sort of a little open. You see the fingers are sprawled out. Then the instructions show you how to use each hand basically. So you see the blaster hand. I love this one where he's like kind of just thinking with his fingers together. And then it shows you which hands to use for the hands behind the back, which I just mentioned. And it shows you what to use for, I guess, gripping the tablet. So one of those hands already on him was the other hand for holding the tablet. And Thrawn also comes with 4 code cylinders. These actually slot into his outfit. You can see they're kind of like a nice chrome finish. You can see they just kind of peg in there. So let's actually slide these into the outfit real quick. So now you can see the code cylinders just slide in there. They're easy to put in, but I might need to straighten them out a little. I kind of even them out because these ones, they look like they're facing different directions, but these ones look pretty good in there. Now we can look at Thrawn's tablet. If you could translate all that, definitely let me know down in the comments, but you can see it's pretty nicely detailed, pretty dirty. There's a bunch of scratches all around it. There's a bunch of like dirt and grime just everywhere. There's a bunch of little buttons on it. It looks pretty nice. Now we can take a look at Thrawn's blaster. For me, it's probably always going to remain in the holster. I'll do a pose with it, of course, but it looks nice. I just don't really see Thrawn blasting too often. You can see there's a bunch of weathering here for the chrome tip. It's pretty nicely detailed, but also not a lot of weathering on the actual black segments. And now for Thrawn's hologram. This is pretty cool looking. It's a nice kind of yellow. It doesn't light up or anything, unfortunately, unless you put a light under the actual like base or something. But you can see a Star Destroyer. You can see the ring that uses to actually use light speed to get off the planet. And yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, they definitely gave you this accessory because without it, Thrawn is pretty accessory light, but it's pretty cool. So you can also see this kind of table, you know, see all the enemies and the good guys, I guess. So I'm trying to remember exactly, is this like, you know, Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra coming up the tower to try to stop Thrawn or something? Then these are all his guys. I mean, it's interesting that he put his guys in red because usually that means bad guys, but you know, he's Thrawn, he does what he wants. But I do really like this piece, and actually, let's just grab the little base for it. So this little base, you just kind of peg this piece in here. And then once that's in, you actually get some 3M tape on the bottom of the actual hologram to stick it to this piece, which is also pretty nice. So let's assemble that real quick. So it looks like what you want to do is attach this to this first. So based on the instructions, for accuracy, you want to put this kind of where the back is facing where all the little dots are. So let me take off the tape and then we'll actually apply it. Hopefully this goes well. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It looks pretty good. The only downside is because since you have to tape it on there, you can't really take it apart. So if you ever need to put this back in the box or something now, you really can't do that without taking the actual, like disconnecting it to where the tape is probably going to dry or something. And then you have to reapply a different tape or something like that. So that part kind of sucks. But if you always are going to display this and you never plan on putting Thrawn back in the box or the accessory back in the box, then it does work out. But what you do is you just peg this onto the actual table piece. And once that's pegged in, you have the whole hologram set up. It's pretty wide. So if you're going to use this in your display, just know it's going to be pretty wide. And especially know if you're going to use it or not before you assemble it. Because like I said, once you attach the actual hologram to the actual tabletop looking piece, then yeah, it's going to be stuck basically forever. I mean, you could pry it off, of course, but if you do that, then you're gonna have to reapply it with something else if you ever use it in the future. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's a little annoying, but at the same time, for me, I'll probably always display it. But yeah, we'll find out when I actually put it in there. But after that, that is all of Thrawn's accessories. So now let's just get him out here. Now looking at Thrawn in closer detail, he just looks fantastic. I love that blue color. I love the red for the eyes. Man, this is so accurate and so good looking. He even has rolling eyeballs, and you see I put him off to the side a little, and man, just looking at head sculpt and detail and like the detail in the eyes, this is so good looking, man. And then of course his outfit is like a pure white color. It looks so good, and luckily it's not being blown out too much by the lights. You can see I put little code cylinders in each side. He has his rank right here. He has some little arrows, you know, like fast forward or something on his neck. Then he has some nice little like bronze shoulder pieces. Not really sure what those are, but they look cool, so we'll allow it. Then his belt is unfortunately pleather. It's Hot Toys, so they use pleather whenever they can, wherever they can. But the buckle itself has a nice chrome finish, and there's one of those dots where if it falls off, I'm gonna hate putting it back on. But also, you have his holster, which unfortunately, yeah, it's pleather. So for his holster, there's actually this little strap right here that's just magnetic, which I really like. I hate the old ones where you had to like tuck it in and stuff. But let's put his blaster in real fast. And as expected, the blaster just goes in very easily. I'll do a pose with it, but like I said, it's probably gonna stay there for me. Then one cool thing is actually this piece here. Maybe it just stays, but it feels like it's wired. Like you see how it actually just goes like that? So what's cool is they probably did that so you can keep it flat without it like flying up or anything on you over time. So that's just an awesome little feature. Same with like this whole area around here. It just feels like they put a wire around this whole area, and man, Hot Toys, thank you for doing that. That's awesome. You use pleather, so negative for that, but plus for actually giving us a wire around there. And now going down to the pants, they're poofy. I kind of like the officer look, you know, they're a bit poofy on the sides. It looks cool, but yeah, I hopefully it stays like that because I could see it, you know, drooping down. They didn't wire it or anything, but as long as you keep it kind of like that, it should be fine. I'll just keep an eye on it. But now going to his boots, there's actually some plastic around the boots and the actual outfit that I couldn't get all of it out, so I stuffed the little bit that was left in there. I know, not ideal, but I have to mention it because I could not for the life of me get that plastic out. It was so impossible. I used tweezers, used everything, and man, it was a nightmare. But unfortunately, those boots themselves, yeah, they're pleather again. They feel like pleather. And on top of that, you really don't get like any ankle movement, like moves. Yeah, I shouldn't even use the word move because it doesn't move. So yes, pleather, ankles don't move, kind of sucks. But other than that, the outfit looks pretty nice. I like how Thrawn looks. But one thing for my copy is that it actually came in with a broken neck peg. So usually Hot Toys uses the actual clear pegs, but for some reason they used a blue one on this. So maybe it's a different type of plastic or material, but clearly it breaks a lot easier because that piece is snapped off, so I can't keep his head kind of, stuck on there exactly. And since his head won't really pop in place, it just kind of sits there. I am getting a replacement piece. Luckily I ordered from Sideshow, and Sideshow's customer service is top notch. So Sideshow is sending me a new little piece. I don't know if it's the whole peg or just this little piece, but either way, I definitely need a replacement because I definitely want my Thrawn's head to be stuck in place. But that was actually a pretty quick section, so now let's just get posing with Thrawn. For the first pose, I just want to see how Thrawn stood on his own. So he doesn't have the base, he doesn't have anything, and I kind of wanted to do that little finger hand where he's kind of like just, manipulating or thinking or something like that. When I was putting the hands together, they're kind of hard to push together, and then of course bending the elbows means that the wrist pegs show, so that kind of sucks. You can definitely see that. But the funny thing, holding his hands together, it looks like he's about to catch a football. Like, I guess I should say an American football, that type of shape, like a wide receiver. So it looks like that, and that's kind of funny. So maybe Thrawn's out there playing catch or something, but it's a decent pose. I definitely don't like it at all. Not gonna go in my display. So for this pose, I decided to make use of Thrawn's blaster. I have him just kind of holding it in his right hand, his other hand's behind his back, and it looks pretty cool. It's a pretty cool stance. I could see myself posing him like this maybe here and there, but honestly, yeah, I just don't really see him holding his blaster. I think it just deserves to just stay in the little holster and just have Thrawn doing something else. I don't remember him using his blaster even once in Ahsoka. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe he used it a few times in Rebels. So he's not really a big blaster guy. I mean, his main weapon is his brain, and Thrawn, yeah, he's scary how just masterful he is in every plan he forms. And because of that, he looks best when he's with his hologram. So let's use that real quick. Now for the final pose, I just have Thrawn holding his little tablet, just playing some games on it or something. And then he has his hologram right in front of him. He still has a hand behind his back because I just think that looks awesome for him. I didn't end up doing the pose where he has both hands behind his back. It's kind of a little basic, and to be honest, both of his wrist pegs are actually kind of tight, so I had to really fight to work the hands out of them to pop them out. They'd pull out of the actual figure, then I had to kind of pry him out of the actual hands, so it took a little while, but eventually, as you can see, I did end up getting it. So yeah, just keep in mind that his hands, or at least the wrist pegs, are kind of tight, but maybe that's just my copy. Just let me know if you guys have that same issue. But yeah, Thrawn looks great standing there next to his hologram, just playing some games on his tablet, and this is probably the pose I'm going to go for. I will admit, I am a little worried about that actual hologram. It's kind of big. It takes up basically the spot a figure can go in, but yeah, we'll just have to end up seeing how it goes. The unfortunate part, like I mentioned, is that once you stick it together, you can't really undo it and reapply it easily. I mean, maybe it's still a little sticky, but I just wouldn't really recommend that. But now let's hop on over and let me give you all my final thoughts. So, Grand Admiral Thrawn by Hot Toys. Buy this figure. He is so good. So for me, I wanted this character as a Rebels representation of Thrawn because we're probably not going to get an animated version. And honestly, I love the actual live action representation. It's a little bit more, adds a little bit more realism to the collection. And honestly, just in general, Thrawn is such an interesting villain because he's so smart and he just plans and manipulates, and man, he is just so cool. So now that I'm able to get a 1/6 scale Thrawn from the Ahsoka series to put in my Rebels display, I am just so happy. If I kind of scoot to the side a little bit, you can see down there what I currently have. I have the Grand Inquisitor, Chopper, and Sabine. Of course, I also have Ahsoka and Hera on order just to add them to the Rebels display, and man, I'm so excited to complete that one. We still need a Zeb, Kanan, and Ezra, but eventually maybe we'll get them. I mean, Zeb is going to be a Mandalorian and Grogu, so that would be awesome if we finally get a figure of him from that. But as for Thrawn, this is an excellent figure, and I just love the character. He's so interesting to watch on screen. I'm so excited for Ahsoka Season 2. So Thrawn, yeah, I love this one. I think you guys should pick him up, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments, of course. Do you already have Thrawn? Are you planning on picking him up for your own Rebels display or even Ahsoka display? Do you even think he's worth getting? Just let me know all that down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like. Definitely hit subscribe if you want to see much more stuff like this, 6 scale figures, reviews, all of that. And of course, a special thanks to all channel members. If you'd like to join the channel, just click the join button, check out the different tiers on there. But I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, month, year, everything. All the above, and until next time, stay 6 scale.